is an absolute massive boost for Celtic this morning as they get handed a Kyogo transfer boost. We will talk about that in a second. But first of all, I want to say hello and thank you to everyone from these countries that I've watched in the last 28 days. Cambodia, Trinidad and Tobago, Bulgaria, Barbados, Mexico, Finland, Guernsey, Nigeria, Croatia, Brazil, Korea, Kenya, Chechnya, Austria, Malta, Hong Kong, Isle of Man, Poland, Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, Belgium, Malaysia, Switzerland, India, Singapore, Denmark, Cyprus, United Arab Emirates, Norway, the Philippines, Sweden, Greece, Italy, Turkey, Portugal, South Africa, France, Jersey, Thailand, New Zealand, Germany, the Netherlands, Japan, Canada, then comes in Spain, the United States, Australia, Ireland, and then the United Kingdom. Wow, that's where everyone, this is why I say have a great day, Celtic fans all around the world at the end of the video, because we truly are all around the world. Right, let's get on to the Celtic news. The first bit of Celtic news this morning is this trip to South Korea keeps on coming up against problems. The South Korea and Japan tour, obviously Wolves pulled out at the end of last week. It's not looking good for this tour. They were obviously due to play Wolves on the 26th and they cancelled. Financial concerns also got Roma to withdraw. So we'll keep an eye on that and we'll see, because I know there are a lot of fans that have already booked to go. Rio Hatate is Celtic and Rio Hatate, and Rio Hatate's agent has come out and said that he is looking to stay in Europe. I don't think he's actually looking to move from Celtic. Celtic maybe thought they might get a bid for him, but the fact that we're just about to sell the one and only Jota, I think that'll it doesn't mean that we have to sell Hatate. No, we can keep hold of him, but Celtic are bracing themselves for a blockbuster bid from Rio Hatate from Saudi, despite the player's agent shutting down talks for a move more chance of wanting to go to the Premier League. But he's earned admirers all around the world and in Saudi. I just hope they don't come for him. They're offering huge money for players to leave the Premiership for their country. I think if they come calling, will he go? Jota is obviously away for a record deal. What about Michael Nicholson? It's got to be said, hats off to Michael Nicholson. The deals that he's pulled off, getting players in, the money that he's made, the stance that he's had with the Saudis with regards to Jota, the fact that they want the money up front. Talking about Jota, the asking price was, the starting price is 25 million, and it was in Jota's contract that if Celtic rejected a bid of 25 million, that would see Jota's wages instantly bumped from £35,000 a week to £45,000 a week on the contract that he signed last summer. So you can understand that, I mean, Celtic were wanting to try and do their utmost to keep the player by putting that clause in. If they did reject a bid of 25 million, obviously any bid in excess of 25 million, Celtic are going to jump at it. And I think that the player himself would have been happy to be on 45 grand a week. But when you get the Saudis coming in and offering £192,000 a week tax free, anyone is going to jump at that. Before we get to the Kyogo story, Neil Lennon has been talking about some Celtic players that have been on loan last season, and a bit of advice to them, and specifically Liam Scales. He says that Liam helped Barry Robson's side finish third, and remember halfway during the season there was, it was more like Hearts were going to finish, but the implosion of Hearts meant that the 24-year-old and the Dons finished third. The Dons are obviously looking for a permanent deal. It's unlikely that Scales will make the breakthrough at Celtic, especially with Rodgers coming in with a huge transfer budget. Lennon went on to say it could be a return up north for him would be the best outcome for Scales. I'm sure Barry Robson, this is Neil Lennon talking, he says, I'm sure Barry Robson would love to have Liam back at Pittodrie. He offers balance at the back, versatility because he can play on the left, he can play centre half and a centre four, and he can play the left centre of a back three. He is still a young player, and the experience he had with Aberdeen last season will have been invaluable to him. Bad times and the good times. At his age, he really needs to be playing games and he's got that with Aberdeen, and he delivered with his performances. It's really about what Celtic want to do. Does he go back, or does he go out on loan to Aberdeen or somewhere else? Or does he stay and fight for his place at Celtic, Neil Lennon says. He then went on to say that Cameron Carter-Vickers and Carol Starfelt, now there was a lot of fear last night about Carol Starfelt maybe exiting the building because his other half has left the women's team. I'm sure that they'll be professional. I hope he doesn't. Tell me your thoughts on that. Back to the Neil Lennon thing, he says, as a young player, you want to be playing, and it's important to get regular football. It makes sense for Liam to go back to Aberdeen. He knows the setup, and he played well under Barry Robson. Right, to the big Kyogo story, the big news of the day, as they say. Kyogo handed Celtic a major transfer boost amid Tottenham rumours. I don't think, if Tottenham are going to come in for him, they're going to make a last minute bid. It all depends on what the Kane thing, how that pans out. The Japanese striker insists he's fully focused on delivering more goals and silverware at Celtic. He said in an interview in his homeland, he says that he wants to stay at the club for as long as possible. And it's been rumoured that he would join Tottenham this season, but the fact that we've just sold a player for 25 million, I don't think we're going to be selling Kyogo. I think the manager Brendan Rodgers wants to keep him, and I think this improved contract will make sure that we do. Kyogo went on to say, as I keep scoring goals and Celtic continue to win, I've heard news that it was released in Japan that the Scottish Premiership is recognised as not high as in terms of standards. Certainly top teams play very good football, but Celtic, you have to fight hard for a lot of tough games. It's natural for various people with various opinions, but in the country it means many people are paying attention to me and playing for Celtic, so I think about that as being positive, says Kyogo. I actually have valuable experiences, Kyogo said, at Celtic, and they're a great club with a great history. Now this is an important bit from Kyogo Furuhashi himself. There are many players who want to play here for as long as possible, including me. So that's fantastic news. That means that he really doesn't want to go this summer. I think he knows that the level that Brendan Rodgers has managed that, and he'll hope that Brendan Rodgers can take him to the next level also in his playing. Kyogo went on to say, but no one knows the future. Players might be injured or transferred. Some players may be retiring. I never know about my future. I just want to enjoy every moment at Celtic. I still have plenty of room for development. I want to be a player who can score more goals. I will continue to work hard next season to become a more powerful player. That's the exact words of Kyogo Furuhashi. So that's exciting news this morning for us Celtic fans. It does mean that Kyogo has set his sights on playing in the Champions League. Remember, if you go down and you go to Tottenham, it's maybe going to take a few years before you get to that level of playing in the Champions League again. Kyogo does want to play at the highest level, and it's great news for us, and great news going into training this morning. And the next big bit of breaking news is Celtic. The last bit of news of the day this morning is Celtic have sold out their season tickets for the 23-24 season. They are completely sold out. That's full capacity again at Celtic Park. And then obviously you'll get games where people can't make it, and then people will complain that there's empty seats. It's the nature of football. It's obviously a massive significance to the club. It gives them a good financial boost again. Out with any contracts that are being done this week that will bring in a lot of money to Celtic. Season ticket money is one of the most important parts, as is the money that we'll get in Europe from the TV. So on that note, truly, as I said at the beginning of the video, to all the people from all the countries around the world, have a great day, Celtic fans.